70 partout.
What's going on there, jerk faces? It's your boy Andy, and you're watching Nocturnal Transmissions, brought to you by the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's a conversation you could be having during the day, but having at night. Tonight is a very special treat for you guys. As you can tell, we have a guest with us tonight, and that is
nice.
What was that?
It's always nice when we have a guest, because people get tired of me. So
I know. I keep threatening Robert that I'm gonna replace him with some big-chested, scantily clad woman.
Ooh.
So it's precisely so.
Jessica,
So
we get more views.
We definitely get more views. And not necessarily, for either reason, either they're called misogynist, or they're gonna love it. But either way, a view is a view. But yes, as tonight we have a special guest, David Blake, a friend of the podcast. He's been on the main podcast many times before, and he found out that we were going to be discussing the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, and also reviewing my cousin Vinny tonight, and so he wanted in, so we granted him his wish, and tonight he'll be joining us for that.
Don't make so fine.
Yeah, live from South Carolina. All right.
Yeah, live from South Carolina. We're going national tonight. It's not just me and Rob here in L.A. It's it's Dave.
It's literally coast to coast.
Coast to coast.
Baby.
Coast to
coast.
Coast to coast. But David, what's new with you? What's been going on?
Not much, man. Just been checking out some new Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Yeah, I'm a jerk. I know. It's okay.
Hey,
well, you're in good company, my friend. You're in good
water's wet. We already know.
Can't help it, man. Can't help it.
You're in good company.
Oh yes, I know that one.
Rob, what's new with you?
Oh, dude. I've been moving around a bunch of furniture, getting, kind of rearranging some stuff. Actually, it's gonna help us, later on when we do some more filming, because we'll actually have some more room to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of in the middle of. I got some stuff moved out of the office, and I'm cleaning it right now. So that'll be another. Later on, because I'm not in my office right now, so there's gonna be some stuff that'll be different next time, when probably the next couple weeks, getting that done, and then today just dealing with fucking just idiots. I really hate the government sometimes. Like, the DMV is the worst. I was on hold for 2 fucking hours this morning trying to figure out why I haven't received anything from for my wife's car registration, and because we haven't gotten anything, nothing, and we paid for it in February, and her tags are expiring at the end of the month. I'm like, something's not right here. So
you got the receipts for everything?
Well, that's the thing. My wife didn't print out the receipt, so I'm trying to at least get the receipt so that I just want to know, did they send it? Did it get lost in the mail?
Right, so you say it's her fault. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I always want my receipt just in case, because some people they just, the DMV, people who want the government to run things, go to the DMV. Look how awesome the DMV is. If you think that that's how you want the country to run, you know what? Good luck. Fuck the DMV. God, I hate it so much.
I mean, David, if you didn't know, that's kind of the refrain of this podcast, or at least this live stream. it's always like, fuck the government.
Well, they're just a bunch of fucktards anyway, so it's okay.
I know that's doesn't say much because I technically do work for the government, but like I said, it's
Yeah, you better watch your mouth, boy.
you know what? Okay, if they want, if they know they suck, it's okay.
Tell that shit to
Right?
Nancy Pelosi. She blows.
Go, dentures a clacking.
I know.
No, I think she might take them out.
Good God.
Yeah,
She'll
it's
gum
always
you to
hilarious.
death.
Yeah, when she's giving press conferences and she does like that weird thing with her mouth, and you could just like, you could see her like readjusting her dentures.
Fucking Skeletor from on high.
Yeah, Skeletor.
God.
Uh,
But other than that, like things are going okay. Like I stubbed my toe again pretty badly, so like it kind of like re-injured, like because I stubbed my toe like a number of years like really badly. And I probably at the time I think I probably broke it and I didn't realize it, and like I just kind of like kept going, and it probably didn't heal right, and then I stubbed it again like moving furniture, and my toe's been bugging me for the last like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, oh great.
He was trying to get his penis out the vacuum cleaner. That's how he stubbed it.
No.
oh jeez.
Oh God.
I really didn't need that as a mental image.
No, that's not what happened. But if that's what people want to think, you know what, go for it. It's all right. It's all good.
Had to put that out there.
And then I decided to torture myself by because last week we were talking about a little bit about the Snyder Cut coming out, and I hadn't seen it yet. And I decided to torture myself by watching the entire DC universe.
I know, you didn't have to. You could have just watched, you could have just watched the Snyder Cut, but no, you had to. We're just before the live stream started, we were kind of talking about this, and Rob was lamenting his decision, and he's like, "Oh, why did I? I mean, I'm sure he meant it rhetorically, but I actually responded to him, and I was like, because you're a masochist, because Rob is a masochist. Some guys like to get their balls stomped on. He likes to watch shitty movies.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was telling you about like a movie that I want to show you, Andy, called starring Eric Roberts, and I put starring in air quotes because like you never see him and you hear his voice like literally it took 15 minutes for him to record the dialogue that I think they recorded on like some like shitty tape recorder while he was sitting having a whiskey and coke, and it's this movie called It's a Talking Cat, and God, it is fucking awful. But I loved it. It was great.
Oh, and that's one you sent me?
Yeah.
I'm not watching that movie. Just so you know, I am not going to be watching that movie.
It's both off. I mean, it is awful, but it's also great at the same time.
Yeah. I can appreciate a bad movie, but I can't abide. I can only abide so much schlock that
But I mean, think about it. Like it's Eric Roberts, from Best of the Best and The Expendables. It's and a lot of other greats. It's a good movie.
I understand it. All right, I do have an affection for Eric Roberts. He was in some of the best worst movies I've ever seen. Growing up, being a child of the '80s and '90s, he was a fixture in my formative years. But
Best of the Best is probably his Citizen Kane. Like that was probably his best film.
That's fair, yes, because even you were ready to dismiss Best of the Best as schlock.
That trailer makes it move. Like I was like, oh dude, I'm in for some shit. And it was not shit. It was a great movie.
Exactly. I know. That's why I didn't say anything to you. That's why I didn't try to defend it. I was just like, okay, just wait, because this is good. This movie is gonna be really good, and Robert's gonna like it, and he's gonna eat his words.
Yeah.
And which he did.
Talk about some of these. Just listening to you two talk about some of these movies that I literally watched in the damn 80s. Makes me feel old. I remember watching Best of the Best, and like, you know, just now I watched on Prime, I think it was Prime, freaking Iron Eagle.
Oh shit, I haven't seen that in a while.
And then what was the other one? Andy might know this one, and that's gonna sound fucked up. You remember the American Ninja?
Oh
You ever
yeah,
seen
yeah,
that one?
yeah, yeah. I remember American. I was actually
With that
thinking
white
we
dude?
were doing martial arts movies for 1 month, and I was actually thinking about putting American Ninja on the list.
Oh, dude, I would have loved that.
Just listening to y'all two talk about some of these movies. Jesus Christ. Well, because y'all gotta think. I was born in '81,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, I remember when Transformers came out. Fucking,
The good one, the animated one.
yeah,
Yeah,
the very
the
first
Generation 1 Transformers.
Generation 1, and then Thundercats and He-Man.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I remember all that crap.
Yeah, as do I. Yeah, I mean, I was born like kind of mid '80s, but yeah, I remember all that stuff because I had like older cousins, and on Saturday mornings we all like we sleep over at each
Yep.
other's houses, and we wake up early in the morning and we watch all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, heck, even my own kids who are 14 and 11, my biological kids who are 14 and 11, who, I've actually sat down and watched movies from the 80s with them. And they're like, do you have anything newer?
What?
With better picture quality?
Or these spoiled children.
Well, what was one me and my daughter were watching the other day? It was a movie from the 90s, and it was only like, I got a 55-inch TV in my living room,
Mm-hmm.
and it only came in like, what was it, 4:3 ratio?
Yeah.
So it cut like half of the damn TV, and she's like,
Oh yeah,
it's
the
not
dreaded
gonna be,
black bars on the side.
yeah. And she's like, where's the rest of the picture? I'm like, oh, all right, you can go outside and play now.
That sounds exactly like my wife, because
I was just about to say that.
Andy and I'd be watching like some movie for like from the 40s. Like, oh, actually, no, we were watching a silent movie together. We were watching a movie from 1927 called Metropolis, and it's a silent movie. It's awesome. It's a really good movie. And my wife was like, why isn't there any sound? It's like, it's a silent movie, honey. It's like, that's stupid. And it's like, this is one of the great masterpieces of like all time. And and she's just like, that's stupid. It doesn't have any dialogue or sound. It's like, oh, I just like I can't make her understand. It's just not gonna happen.
Robert, who's
like anything black and white is out. Like that's just never gonna happen. Anything
what's that movie I asked you about the other night?
Oh, shit, I don't remember.
Oh, damn. I don't pay attention to names that much unless they're like really popular, actors or actresses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the chick who plays in My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei.
Oh, it was Untamed Heart with Johnny Depp and Marissa Tomei. Yeah, that's right. That was the movie we were talking about.
Have you ever heard of that one, Andy?
What was it again?
Untamed Heart.
That's not the one with Jeff Bridges, right?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, wait, that's Wild Heart. Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Wait,
this
is that the one with
Johnny...
Christian Slater?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think it is Christian Slater. I looked it up. It's
Is
Christian
it
Slater,
Christian
not
Slater?
Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, yeah, I'm aware of the movie, but I never watched it.
well, you got to watch that movie, man. That's like it's a weird movie. I'll put it to you that way. It was like the first. It was like honestly, besides my cousin Vinny and that one, that was the only two movies that I'd ever seen Tomaine in, and then seeing her back again as Aunt May and everything like that. I was like, damn. I was like,
Oh
somebody
yeah,
got
yeah,
She's so
Marissa Tomei, she's a tasty slice.
huh?
I said Marissa Tomei's a tasty slice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you so something you might not know about it, we well actually in February we did what we call Tasty Slice Month. So like we looked at like some good looking women who are in films. But we occasionally will do that like with like different certain actresses. Like we did that with Elizabeth Taylor. I think there was like who else did we do?
Sophia
The chick from,
Loren,
yeah, Sophia Loren. We also did like who's the chick from like 1 Million BC?
Raquel Welch. Although I
Yes,
don't,
yeah.
but I don't think we dubbed her a tasty slice. Although she does qualify.
Yeah. So we do that occasionally on the podcast too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, 1 Million BC. That was such a bad movie.
Yeah, it was, but
it was. I'm glad I watched it, but it wasn't good. It wasn't. But
no, but like, yeah, like you kind of like see the kind of the beginnings of like the whole like special effects and like stop motion and
no, that part of it was great. There wasn't a story. That's the problem. There's no story.
true because there wasn't really a conflict. That's I think partly had to do with it.
1 Million BC sounds like the movie. It's an older 80s movie, and I think it's called Cave Bear or something like that. It's
Quest
it's
for
about
Fire.
huh?
Quest for Fire.
Is that the one where they're with the white hair girl and everything like that?
I don't remember, but I remember. Yeah, it was like basically a movie about cave people and like the discovery of fire and
Yeah.
that one chick, that one black chick that has like an Asian sounding name.
Yeah, I think that's the one. But there's a white hair girl in it who she's she was marked by like a bear or something like that, or she was born with like claw marks.
Oh yeah, something of the Bear Clan or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
that movie had no story, like nothing. Like the chick, like she even got like there was no like she got raped and like 2 scenes later the movie was over and it was like what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, because there was another like caveman movie like in the '80s. I think it was like Quest for Fire. It had like a young Ron Perlman and oh yeah, it was Ray Don Chong, who I recently found out is Tommy Chong's daughter.
What?
Yeah.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, and if you guys need a little bit more of a refresher, she was also the what is it? Not love interest, but she was the woman in she was like the woman that Arnold Schwarzenegger basically kidnaps in Commando.
Oh,
I still have yet to see Commando. I need to see that.
you haven't seen Commando?
I have not seen it. Yeah, I know.
I think we need to do an Arnold month.
Oh, definitely. Like there.
I mean, I think he like Arnold Schwarzenegger deserves his own month.
Because I haven't seen Commando. I haven't seen Conan.
Whoa.
I know.
Hold up.
Yeah, it's funny. Like You're doing the same thing that our friend Daryl does. Like when I was telling him, I was like, "Oh yeah, I hadn't seen The Dirty Dozen." He's like, I thought he was gonna have a heart attack. Like when I told him
You
that.
haven't seen The Dirty
No,
Dozen?
no, I've seen it now. I've crossed that off the list. I've seen it. We're actually gonna be doing a review on it.
All right, let me ask you this. And it's a comedy movie. Andy might know this one because it's got Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and George Carlin in it. Have you at least seen Dogma?
Yes, I have seen Dogma.
Okay, now I don't have to shoot you in the face.
Yeah, Dogma's great. Isn't that what's his face? The guy from Clerks, Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith movie?
Yeah, it kind of happens in like the Clerks universe because Jay and Silent Bob are.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Clerks, by the way, is like one of the greatest comedies I've ever seen. I love that movie.
Yeah, oh yeah, we reviewed it and the setup and payoff to one of the greatest jokes in probably cinematic history.
Oh god, it is. It's I mean I gave it 5 stars. You know, it was already like a 4-star, but that joke alone gave it another star. It was just so great.
Yeah, I mean it's like I mean when Rob realized this, his head exploded.
Oh dude, it was like. Dude, it was because I had seen it like probably like 2 or 3 times beforehand, and then like obviously watching it as a review, it's like, dude, this joke is fucking great.
Yeah, same here. I've seen Clerks more than a fair share of times, and even I missed it until I had to watch it like more critically, and then just figuring out like that joke, the setup, and then like the payoff, it was tremendous.
Oh Jesus! I cannot believe you haven't watched Conan though.
I have. I know it's. I'll get there. Don't worry.
Especially the first Conan with like freaking James Earl Jones with like a straight perm.
Oh no! What makes it even better? Andy, I've you probably seen it, but Red Sonja.
Oh yeah, Red. What's that chick? Was it? It's not Brigitte Nielsen, is it?
Yeah, because it's got because she does she's the Soviet. She's the Russian chick in what was it, Rocky 3, where he goes
Rocky 4, yeah, Rocky 4. Yeah, but she's also she was Red Sonja. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
But if you don't watch, you got to watch that one too, Robert.
I know. I have this long list of movies that I haven't seen that are I'm working on it. Like there's so many fucking movies that I have to watch. Like I'm getting caught up. I've only been doing this for about we've been doing movie reviews for about like 2.5, 3 years now. And before that, like I hadn't been as involved like as far as like with movies. Like there's so much that I hadn't seen. So I'm getting the list. I'm getting there.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: if you're behind with a freaking deployed and shit like I did, you late at night sitting around outside going, I wonder who's gonna shoot at me today. And you got a little hat, you got your damn sleeping bag on top, and you're watching a damn movie, looking out, going, "Who's gonna shoot today, fellas?"
Yeah.
Shit, what happened? It's the Real Housewives. We've got to watch this first.
Yeah. No, there's so many like great classics that I still haven't seen. There's a lot of like stuff from like the 70s and 80s that I haven't seen that I want to watch. There's so much that, and the thing is like then there's some movies where it's like, dude, I gotta watch this again. I gotta just because it's so good.
You have watched Kung Fu Legend, right?
No, I have not.
You disappoint me, sir.
It's not because I don't want to watch it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Dude, you live in an Asian community.
Dude, do you know how many like Japanese and Korean movies I've been watching? Like, I mean, I've just kind of like gotten into like a lot of
Andy's like, I'm staying out of this shit.
I know.
I've
I
been
mean,
watching
because
I've been watching a ton
I'm
of like
I'm kind of with you, Dave. I'm kind of with you. It's like
I've been watching a ton
all of
of
like the kind of like the staples of growing up being like an '80s '90s kid. It's just like Robert's just like kind of like he missed the boat on that one.
I'm working through like all like the Kurosawa film. There's been I've been watching this Zatoichi film series, which is fucking awesome.
You have watched Kill Bill, right?
Of course, I watched that in theaters.
Well, what's his name? Kane, that's in there.
Yeah,
He's actually the lead guy from Kung Fu Legend.
well, I've seen the show.
Oh, you've seen the show, then?
Yeah, I've seen the show. I just didn't see the movie.
Damn, I didn't know they had a movie of it. Shit.
But yeah, no, my mom watched that show. That's why I watched that show.
Hell, I watched it on Sundays whenever it came on during the what was it? The matinee theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy remembers that one.
Oh yeah,
that
Saturday afternoons at Channel
That was
5.
the dude that was like choking himself in some Thai hooker hotel room or something.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, David Carradine, the actor David Carradine.
He killed himself from like sexually choking himself or whatever.
Yeah, I think what was it? Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, thank you. That's the term.
Yeah.
But his I don't know if it was his. I think it was his dad. Like John Carradine was in a lot of great westerns, and he's a great actor too.
Yeah, that's how he got started.
Yeah, he one of my favorites is Stagecoach. He was in that. He's fantastic.
Ooh, tread like
yeah,
that.
Right.
But before we start on our thing, like we didn't get to Andy's week. Andy, how you doing? Like what's been going on?
Oh,
yeah, man, we went like a
yeah, Rob is such a narcissist. Everything is about him, and then it's like, oh yeah, Andy. Like we can touch on him for a quick sec.
Sure we get to you before we start like off into really
hashtag stop Asian hate, Rob, you bigot.
Oh, I know, right? I hate Asians so much I married one.
Yeah, remember, just because you have a black friend doesn't mean that doesn't exclude the possibility of you being a racist.
Oh, dude, I'm probably more racist because I'm subjugating a Korean woman.
Yes.
For my pleasure.
Exactly. But no, this weekend was pretty chill. I just went. I met up with a buddy, and we went to another friend's place out in Oxnard to watch the fights. It was the fights were really good though. Really stacked card. One of my favorite fighters, Sean O'Malley. He made his return to the ring after a really bad foot injury previously, and and he won his match. It was crazy because in like the first or towards the end of the first round, he got his opponent with like a clean shot to the jaw and like kind of wobbled him. And I think he thought that he got him, and so he kind of like walked away, without really finishing him off. But his opponent was able to get up onto his feet again, and he had to go until like the third round, which he eventually did knock him out. But he did it properly and like finished him off. Like he got him again with like a shot to the chin, wobbled him, and then he went in and like just like hammer fisted him down, and he won the fight.
Man, had he lost that would have been like it's like you had him like and you didn't finish it.
Exactly. He didn't. He wasn't going to make that same mistake twice. So good thing. Good on him for recognizing that. And also, the main event was a rematch actually with Francis Ngannou and Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic being the concurrent heavyweight champion, and then Francis Ngannou getting his second chance at the fight, and yeah, Francis Ngannou took it, and he actually deserved that win.
Yeah.
It was great. So yeah, it was a good night. Just bros hanging out, just chilling.
Yeah, I'll have to join you guys for the fight sometimes. I mean, I'm not as into the MMA world as you and like James and like some of the guys are, but I always enjoy it. Like I never regret like hanging out for the fights
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just because yeah, so as long as you're like with people who enjoy the fights as well, it's always a good time.
yeah. But I always, like I said, I always enjoy like hanging out with you guys while you're watching fights, and as long as there's beer, I'm good.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
use you for the alcohol.
Right.
Hey, I bring my own beer. Like I contribute. Not a
I got bottles of beer. I'm good.
Hey, I enjoy like my Rolling Rock, and that's usually my go-to. That maybe that's why I'm a fan of the Deer Hunter, because they drink Rolling Rock the entire movie.
It's sad.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that was my weekend. So yeah, let's get into the Justice League discussion.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you not, I mean, again, I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, which I think I am. But yeah, for those of you who didn't know, there's this big grassroots fan movement to try and get the Zack Snyder version of Justice League to be released. And if you're not familiar on the story, is Zack Snyder, he was tasked in creating basically the DC cinematic universe. Um, with his first two entries being Man of Steel and then Batman v Superman. Which with kind of like I think varying degrees of success. I enjoyed Man of Steel, not so much Dark Batman versus Superman. Um, so he really had this kind of uphill struggle with this third entry, but he had filmed everything, and he was ready to get into the editing bay and and put this movie together when unfortunately and tragically his daughter committed suicide, and which had him forced him to leave the project, and the studio came in and meddled and hired
God, did they?
what was that?
I was like, oh God, did they ever like get
Oh yeah, yeah. The studio Warner Brothers heavily meddled, and they hired Zack Snyder's replacement, Joss Whedon. I think in the hopes of trying to capture that MCU magic and bring it over to DC. Um,
Yeah, that didn't happen.
yeah, that it didn't happen because yeah, they were trying to replicate the kind of like the Marvel humor and like the sensibilities of Marvel, but what Zack Snyder had put down as kind of like the foundation didn't necessarily lend itself to be translated in that way.
Yep. Yeah. That that the one thing that because now that I've subjected myself to, oh, why did I do this? But I rewatched
Again,
up until Justice League. I watched the shitty Justice League compared to the Zack Snyder Justice League,
Mm-hmm.
and I can kind of see what Zack Snyder was trying to do, and I don't hate it. I don't completely hate it. I think it could have been tweaked a little bit better here and there. And I think the problem is that the Warner Brothers and DC, I think they were trying to play catch up to Marvel instead of doing their own thing. They were trying to hit a bunch of 5-run home runs when they should have just like take your time. The fans like are loved. DC fans, they're gonna want to watch those movies. They're gonna if you do like what Marvel did, you plan things out and you're not trying to like rush things. trust me, I'm gonna watch them. I love Batman. I love Superman. I love Wonder Woman, The Flash, all these characters, and I like the villains just as much. So like, don't. But I saw where Zack Snyder was trying to go, and I know like a lot of the blowback on him is like, oh, everything's so dark, and it's like, you know what? I'm actually okay that they were, because Marvel is kind of become, it's kind of it's serious in a way, but it's also very cut up and very funny at the same time. It does have comedic value. I'm okay with DC being more serious, and if uh, and I just wish that they would have taken their time, because I mean, and trust me, they've made a lot of fucking like Suicide Squad was, it's not the actor's fault. The writing was fucking garbage. But like, like Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, it wasn't completely bad. It was just, Batman v Superman should have been like 3 movies, to be honest, because they were telling like 3 different. I would have made one casting change. Fuck Jesse Eisenberg. He sucks. He sucks as an actor. Get someone like anyone else to play like Lex Luthor. Get Michael Rosenbaum, who's played Lex Luthor before, and he's a really good actor. He likes the comic book stuff. He's a huge fan. Or for God's sakes, get like Billy Zane, who at least looks like, Lex Luthor, and I think he could play the part pretty competently. But no, we're gonna get Jesse Eisenberg, who is just he's not even like, I watch a lot of schlock, as Andy likes to know, and to me, Jesse Eisenberg is a schlock actor. It's like, I don't think he should play outside of like some sort of like B or C movies, but he seems to somehow get
No,
these.
that's what he's best known for. It's like, he's best known for like Zombieland and hell,
Social
was that
Network or
30 minutes or less.
I just like, but in this, like he sucks. I'm sorry, I hated him uh as Lex Luthor, and to be honest, like, and I'm not necessarily like I didn't hate the actor as far as who played the Flash. I just wish that they would have, pick a lane. Are you going to be Barry Allen? Or are you going to be Wally West? Because
Yeah,
they
decided on that one.
Barry Allen is much more serious. Like, he's much more of like a serious character. Wally West is more of like kind of like the smart ass, which
Sure.
and I love Wally
right.
West.
Yeah, and yeah, Barry Allen, he's serious, but he's also lighthearted. Whereas you were saying, Wally West is more of the smartass type, and then for this iteration of Flash, for Justice League, I think they did an amalgamation.
And
Yeah,
I think that was a mistake.
I think they mixed them because it was like, Barry Allen, he knew, as the Flash is Barry Allen, he knew how to fight. He knew how to, take, do what he needed to do as the Flash. But then you got this kid who is being Barry Allen. Oh, I don't fight. I just push the bad guys out the way. What? Really? Come on.
Well, here's the thing: is like the Zack Snyder Justice League. Thank God, because honestly, like the Justice League that we got made the Flash look like a fucking pussy. I hated it.
Right.
But then
I didn't want to give it away too much last week, but in this movie, in this cut of Justice League, they actually made the Flash a very palatable character and also significant.
Yeah.
Because at the end he had a really big part in the victory.
Roll.
Yeah, he had a very big role in the victory over Steppenwolf, which is like basically the mother boxes fuse and the world was about to be destroyed, but then the Flash does his thing and like basically turns back time and with giving the heroes another chance to win. And I think that was tremendous.
Yeah, well, the other thing that I like I said, it's all about like for me, like I want them to take their time with it. And the thing is,
Right.
like to me, like when Justice League comes out, it's all of a sudden, we get like a little snippet of something with in Batman v Superman where like the Flash comes and he like you said he's working through time, which is I think which is like the what we see in the Zack Snyder cut of him, turning back time. I think that he was also like he saw like what was happening. He came back and told like, oh, like it's like did I hit the wrong time? And like he's trying to tell like Bruce like he was right. It was all about Lois or whatever, and like it was kind of, but it wasn't like it. He was there was something there like it was kind of like a Flash paradox like the Flashpoint like thing that they were trying to do.
Right.
Yep.
And then in this one like he's yeah, it's kind of like what we see like in that vision that is given to Batman. It's like we see like the parademons and like how Superman was turned evil, which as fans of DC we know that that's like with because Darkseid turns Superman against everyone like he
Yeah, he brainwashes.
yeah, and I think that's what they were trying to go for, and they didn't quite do that because we and this whole thing like the mother boxes, that's just thrust upon us in Justice League. Whereas like when we looked at Marvel, like the Infinity Stone stuff, all that stuff, that was peppered in like as the movies went along. And like we didn't really know about like the entirety of like the Infinity Gauntlet until like much later. But like everything was kind of was leading up towards that. Where like this is just like it's just dumped in our lap. It's like okay, like where did this come from? And like the whole idea of like Darkseid is just like it's just kind of not even talked about up until Justice League. And God, thank God we like actually got the Zack Snyder cut because in what I was telling David is that in the Justice League that came out first, like we got like one mention, like it like one sentence that had Darkseid in it. At least in this movie, we got Darkseid, but who is a fucking fantastic villain. But it's like we got him for not even that long. But I just feel like this is one of the great villains of the DC universe, and it was just not utilized at all, hardly.
Well, here's my issue with this movie. Is Robert makes all great points. Don't get me wrong, he really does. With the whole Barry Allen and Wally West and all that. But my main issue is you're gonna sit here and freaking tease me about one of the new gods and Darkseid, and you're gonna give him a minute and a half on fucking screen?
Yeah.
Assholes. Let him out. Let him whoop some ass. Let him do something. Don't disappoint me. It's like ruining a wet dream.
Yeah. Well, and see that, and I think what upsets me the most is because like I'm pretty sure you're included in this, but like Annie and I grew up in a time with we got like the Batman animated series,
Yep.
the Superman Adventures, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, all that stuff, and that was a better DC extended universe compared to like what we got as far as the live action. And it's nothing against the actors, like because I honestly I think the movies are actually very well cast. It's just
They are.
and like when we actually see Darkseid come in like it towards like which is one of the big arcs in the Superman animated series, dude. I mean it's you're shaken to the core because he fucks up Superman big time.
Like
and it's
like
scary.
I said, my big disappointment with it is that they gave Darkseid a minute and a half of screen time, and that was it. He just like usual has got his hands folded behind his back and shit. But come on now, he's standing there and like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, you know, Cyborg. Everybody's looking at this man, and they're like, "Who is this dude?" And then next thing you know, it's boop, he's gone, and it's like, "What the you son of a bitch!"
Yeah, and I
Well,
honestly
like, okay, really quickly, the only disappointment I had in Darkseid was that they didn't get Michael Ironside to do the voice.
thank you. I agree.
You know what
That
I'm
was the only
saying?
thing
Like, you know, and it's like I mean, I get that Michael Ironside's a lot older, but you know, that's the beauty of it. He doesn't have to be the physical actor; he just has to do the voice. And I was so waiting to hear Michael Ironside's voice, but we didn't get that. But I mean,
But it's
yeah.
like I will say that yes, if whenever it pops over to the future, and it's got everybody sitting there, you know, I'll be honest with you, I was waiting on it. I'm a huge Joker fan.
Hmm.
You know, Jay Leto,
Jared
he
Leto, yeah.
yeah, he's really not my cup of tea when it comes to the Joker,
Hmm.
especially because of the Suicide Squad
Oh,
Joker.
no, it
You know, um,
Yeah.
but when they showed him sitting there on the car, he's got his he's got his long hair, and he's sitting there and he's just talking all kinds of shit to Batman, and it's just like he's hitting on so many things, and if you really pay attention to what he's hitting on, he talks about um he talks about was it he didn't say none of the names, but he was hitting on like Jason Todd,
Yeah, yeah, the
yeah.
death in the family,
Robin.
yeah, arc, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And when he started bringing that up, I was like, I was like, okay, well, I could fuck with this, new storyline arc that they're trying with the Justice League. But are they going to bring a new Batman movie out of it? Because that's what they're actually wanting to sign Ben Affleck
Well,
to
well,
a Batman movie.
yeah.
Well,
Well, see,
yeah,
that's
he
the
was.
problem.
Yeah, Ben
We
Affleck
never,
was supposed to get his own Batman movie titled The Batman, but I mean, I think after the backlash of the first like theatrical cut of Justice League, you know, he kind of just washed his hands of it. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this no more.
Well,
You know, that's why well we were supposed to, but that's why we're getting the what is it, Rob Pattinson Batman
the
movie
Batman
instead.
Beyond.
No, 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 no. Oh, that would have been amazing if Rob Pattinson was cast to be Terry McGinnis, and then they got
dude,
what's his face, Michael Keaton, to come back to play old Bruce. Old Bruce. Oh man,
dude.
and then they did a Batman Beyond movie. Oh man, that would have been perfect.
Well, they are actually doing a Michael Keaton as old Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Are they?
yeah.
Yeah, they are. He's even talked about it on not social media, but he's actually talked about it on um like some of the Google News and stuff when did interviews and stuff for um the new actors doing Batman as like Ben Affleck and Pat Patterson and, all of them. He's actually commented. He said, yeah, he's actually been in talks with getting coming back as Bruce Wayne, as
That
an
would-
older version of
yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
See, I
So,
think hopefully that'd be great. But yeah, like, dude, Batman Beyond is awesome. I love.
but it's like, you know, um, a lot of people have the notion that, you know, Batman is just one uh, charismatic character. They don't realize, just like other characters out there, there's different variations of Batman. Just like
True,
there's
like
Well,
just like
yeah,
there's
because
different.
like yeah, because each of the some of the Robin, each of the Robins gets their turn being Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dick Grayson gets to be Batman. I think in the future, like what is it?
Jason.
what's his not Jason Todd, but Tim Drake. Tim Drake as the
Oh, Tim Drake.
John
Yeah, Tim Drake is
McCall.
probably my favorite Robin.
Tim Drake's your favorite Robin?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm serious. I think I liked him as Robin, and like he's the one that we get in the Batman animated series too. So
Right, because they kind of they
I
skipped
would-
over like the whole messiness of Jason Todd.
yeah.
Um,
And see that to me I think the first movie should have been Batman and kind of like the whole like death in the family with like the killing of Jason Todd, like where Joker kills him.
right, yeah. Like I was
And
telling
then
you before, like how you were saying that if they were gonna go dark, like you didn't mind them going dark. Um, and I kind of agree with you, and like because it would definitely set them apart from Marvel. And so if they
yeah,
wanted to do that, then they should have went there and they should have done the Jason Todd thing.
yeah, because I think that would have set it up to like why because Batman is already pretty surly as it is, but I think
Right.
that would
And
have
yeah, and Batman v Superman, we're kind of teased that that bit because when you see
Yep.
like the Robin costume with with the ha ha ha's like spray painted on it, we're like it's alluding to that Jason Todd storyline.
yeah.
But yeah, I think if it was fleshed, if we were given a Batman movie in between Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, that would have been the movie to make.
That would have been
Yeah,
better.
no, I think you start with Batman killing the family, like kind of like the death of Jason Todd, is the first movie. Then you have Man of Steel, and it sets it up like why like just kind of like Batman's already like even more pissed off as it is, and then like you see because Man of Steel leads into Batman v Superman, and that kind of sets like kind of everything off towards like and I think it would make more sense. And then like but Batman v Superman really I mean at least needs to be 2 movies. And let me just say too, like with Batman v Superman, I actually don't hate it, except for the one thing that's really stupid outside of Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor, is the whole idea of our mothers are named Martha. It's like that whole like I was like, you two are like
It was a whole meme back then. It was a whole meme.
Batman is one of the greatest detectives, and Superman is not no dummy. You
All right,
out there like you're
if we
being
take apart
played.
that one too, let's do this right here. Let's cut all the bullshit. General Zod is fucking Doomsday. Seriously, Lex Luthor uses his own blood to create Doomsday. Really?
That was stupid too. I didn't like that.
Doomsday was a genetically engineered creature by a scientist that was brought to fucking Krypton to enhance his own species.
Yeah.
Right.
And
If we're going by the comic books, yes, you're correct.
yes.
But yeah, like that was like some fucking bullshit where like Jesse Eisenberg being like, oh, I'm the smartest person in the world, so of course I can figure out all this alien technology, and then I can also and of course I can figure out like how to genetically alter a dead General Zod body and turn him into like this fucking monster.
And like I said, it's just it could have been so much better. And that's the thing that like it disappoints me. It hurts me the most is because it has the potential to be awesome, and it just isn't.
Right. I think what they should have they should have found like their Kevin Feige. Like Warner Brothers should have found their Kevin Feige, and I think so that he would so that person would have ultimate control over like the whole like DC extended universe, cinematic universe, whatever you want to call it. But oh god, I just lost my train of thought here. No. Okay. But I think the perfect person to have been like their Kevin Feige would have been Paul Dini or Bruce Timm, who were the writers for the DC animated universe, like
Yes.
Batman animated adventure or Superman adventures or Justice League and so on and so forth. They were the writers for DC's animated universe, and they should have been the ones to been given control of the cinematic universe, because they've already proven themselves that they could tell the stories and so and they are familiar with like production and stuff. So I think they would have been the perfect duo to oversee the DC Cinematic Universe, extended universe,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
And
Okay, well here before we go on another rant and stuff, I had a thought pop up in my head. What or a question?
Hmm.
What the hell y'all think about Martian Manhunter?
I mean, I liked him. Like, I mean, I like Martian Manhunter.
I like him as a character too, but come on now, they could have, you know, he popped.
Why didn't he come out in Man of Steel? That's what I want to know.
Right, yeah, and like why didn't Superman automatically identify him as an alien when he was like doing his whole like X-ray vision through like the one-way mirror?
Exactly.
Bingo.
That's what I'm not. That's what I didn't understand whenever I first seen it either. And then like when at the end of Justice League, the Snyder cut and everything, you see him flying down and he's sitting there talking to Ben Affleck, and it's like a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Right, it's like he like just like he's like floating up in the air, and it's just like, why wasn't Bruce like, where the fuck were you when we were fighting off all those all the parademons and
All the
whatnot?
parademons.
Yeah.
That's
It's like, you
Well,
fucking
and that's
asshole.
the thing. It's like when you're watching the animated universe, like with Justice League, Martian Manhunter is right there. Like, I mean, he has like his weaknesses, but like he's a big part of the team.
exactly.
Right, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's one of the other things that kind of mind screwed me, because it was like this dude was one of the if I remember right, he was like one of the original founding members.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm
And
not sure in the comic books, but yeah, in the in the animated universe, yeah, he was one of the founders.
yeah, but like to not use him in this movie, as he should have been. To me, to use that character, it was, to use that character once or twice during the movie. To me, it was a shame. It was a waste of a character.
That I mean that's the unfortunate part. Is just like, man, it's just a lot of things were underutilized, and like certain things were emphasized that shouldn't have been, and it's just uh it just goes back to that idea of it could have been great, but like I think it was just trying to do too much at once, like in very few movies, and just too many hands in the cookie pot, to be honest.
Yeah, and also I would like to shout out that they actually made Cyborg an interesting character.
Yes, yeah, because he's
We get a lot more Cyborg, and I think you know it actually makes me want to see a Cyborg solo movie. Just because
yeah,
just knowing that he's had like this this kind of rocky relationship with his father, and it actually it actually like the Snyder cut actually rounds him out more, and he's not just like this
Mm-hmm.
like in like the theatrical what is being colloquially called the Justice League, the Josh Whedon version. He very much lived up to his name of Cyborg, because he was almost emotionless. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, in the Snyder cut, he was actually a person, and you
Yeah.
saw his struggle, kind of his struggle with coming to terms with having like these new abilities, and also trying to reconcile with his father.
Yep.
And so yeah, like Cyborg, I think was in a lot of ways the heart of that movie.
Yeah, he was.
yeah.
And
And
I honestly, I think Snyder was actually trying to do that because of all the negativity that he was getting before the movie even came out.
and that's kind of unfortunate, because like now that I think about it, because a lot of people shit on Zack Snyder. It's like, but like I said, as I went through and like I rewatched all these movies, especially the ones that he was involved in. I see where he was trying to go, and I'm like I said, I actually don't hate his vision. I think it's actually like not bad. But like I think there was a lot of people who were like, "Oh, we want it to be like Marvel." It's like I'm actually okay with it not being Marvel. I want DC to be I want them to do something different.
Right.
Marvel and DC are two totally different practices.
Yeah, it's like the Red Sox and Yankees.
They have
They're not the
similar
same.
characters and everything like that, but you don't want. Who the hell wants to go see a damn movie about the same shit that I watched 2 years ago?
Exactly.
You know, eh, this person, okay, yes, Wolverine is one of my favorite, Marvel characters and stuff. Love him to death. I'd watch every single one of his damn movies. But I don't. If they did another X-Men movie, but had it DC characters, there's no way I would watch it
Yeah.
because it's the same emphasis on the Marvel characters for the DC characters. And no, nobody wants to see that. Everybody wants something different.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused on this whole damn Suicide Squad crap
Uh,
with this other new Suicide movie coming out.
well, I will say, like the initial Suicide Squad, which is they're trying to be like the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Dirty
Yep.
Dozen, and they fail on both accounts because they're just and like I said, it's not the casting. The casting is actually really good. It's just the writing was so fucking awful.
So
Right. But then yeah, in this, but they're kind of pulling the same trick again. Well, Warner Brothers is because they got James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy, to come and do
Yep.
this new Suicide Squad. Which I'll admit, I watched the trailer, and I'm kind of interested.
I'm gonna watch it.
I,
Yeah,
I
because
want to see Killer Shark. I want to see Killer Shark. But fucking the one thing, you know, Andy, I don't know if you know this, Robert, he knows this. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I love wrestling. Um,
Mm,
when I was living in California and stuff, I went to a lot of their shows in San Diego.
yep.
Um, you know, one of the wrestlers is on there. John Cena is one of the actors and stuff on
right.
there. Um, this dude,
That was your guy for a while, wasn't it?
hell no.
You always did like the John Cena shit.
Oh no, that was
Hell no.
no that you thinking about Senior Chief Seals?
Was that? Oh, that was his guy.
Yeah, that was Senior Chief's. That was Senior Chief's dude.
No,
'Cause
man,
he
I got that mixed up.
This man, now get this, Andy. This man, he's like, now he should be like more in his like 60s and 70s and stuff. But every time he'd come in and stuff, he'd put his hand in front of his face and you can't see me,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And I would do it, just every time I'd see him and stuff, I'd do it to him. But you know, I don't. John Cena was an okay wrestler. He wasn't the best. He had like maybe 6 moves in his arsenal. To watch him do him, he was in the Marine, the first Marine. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He did Marine. He did what was it 12 rounds? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he did okay in those movies, but as the years gone on and stuff, now he's turning more and more into like, you know, um, huge fan of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock,
Mm-hmm.
but he gave Dwayne Johnson a whole bunch of shit for, oh, you left wrestling and you only come back every once in a while, you know, and now he's doing the same thing. He's up doing
Yeah,
movies
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
now he's heading back to doing something with wrestling, but The dude's nothing but a big tool. You know, and it just, to me, to watch him to try to be a badass anti-hero on a movie, it honestly makes me want to just, yes, I want to see, I want to see Harley Quinn in her short shorts and, her tight little outfits. And I want to watch Killer. I want to watch fucking, oh, damn, Killer Shark, rip the dude in half. I want to see all that. The only thing I don't want to see is John Cena.
Mm.
Mm. Although, yeah, like his deadpan delivery is kind of it's for some reason it's kind of funny to me, or it's amusing. Like that line in this trailer where he talks about like, oh, when what was it, Idris Elba's character is like, oh, why don't you go eat a bag of dicks, and he was like talking about like, oh, there's like a if it required of me to eat a bag of dicks, I'd eat every single dick on that beach, and I don't know why, but that's
Yeah, actually,
that's funny.
I was like, all right, that's good.
That is
Yeah.
that's honestly like another reason why, like, just to see him say something like that, yeah, to me is out of character for him. But just because he is a tool, yes, yeah, I would love to actually see
Yeah,
him.
I think weirdly enough, I think this character that he's gonna play in Suicide Squad kind of matches up with his natural tooliness. Um,
Wow. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I like the Zack Snyder Justice League. Like, I feel like yeah, it's. I wish this is the one that we got. Um, and it's really unfortunate like what happened to Zack Snyder and his family. Like I hope he's doing all right because that's rough. Have not only losing a kid but losing them in that way. Like I know what
mhm.
like a black hole that really creates in a family. And yeah, hopefully to be honest, I'd love to see him back at some point and kind of really kind of resume his vision for the series. But we'll see. And
Yeah,
but yeah, DC is like until like they get their head screwed on right. I mean, they're gonna be behind Marvel by a long shot.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath because even after the outcry from fans and also like the big numbers that the Snyder Cut did on HBO Max and stuff. Um, it came. I think there was like a press release saying that Warner Brothers, I don't think has any interest in pursuing the what is now being called the Snyderverse uh,
Yeah,
for the
that's really
DCEU,
unfortunate.
which
Yeah,
again is which is sad because again, yeah, this was a good movie and yeah, it was 4 hours, but I honestly didn't like feel the 4 hours.
no, it didn't feel like super long. Like I think also because it was broken up into like different like acts and stuff, which kind
Mhm.
of also helped. So it kind of broke it up a little bit.
Right, but yeah, it's just kind of I don't know why the executives at Warner Brothers can't get their heads out of their collective asses, but they're literally saying like, oh no, we don't care about money. Um,
Yeah, right.
so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What what hope is there for the return of Zack Snyder and the continuation of his vision? We could hope beyond hope, but it's like if DC's coming out and saying like, yeah, we don't care about money, I really don't know where they go from there.
Yeah. Sorry, one other like last little note, like just kind of another like little nitpick that like bugged me is like how cavalier that they made like Batman like with his real like his identity like as being Bruce Wayne. I felt like he gave like his identity so casually, like where like when you look at like something like the animated series, like he's very protective of that. Like, and he doesn't trust it, even though he's a part of the Justice League. He's very
Standoffish.
yeah, like he doesn't trust any of them. And actually, he has a one of the episodes of the Justice League is like where they have people going after all the superheroes and going after all their weaknesses, is because they hacked into Batman's computer and found out all the weaknesses of those guys, and it was a huge arc that they had where it's like
Oh
Bruce.
yeah, Justice League Doom. Yeah, Justice League Doom.
Yeah,
Well, it's like what was it with that? Like you're talking about, Robert. I remember that one because I know at the end of that one they turn around and Superman turned around and told him. He said, look, Bruce, you're out of the Justice League, and he turned around and he told him. He said, I was never in it.
yeah,
I stand by
Well,
myself,
yeah,
and
like
I'm here to help.
because like all the other leaguers like pissed off at him. It's like, oh, how could you come up with these contingency plans for us? Um,
Yeah, because
as he was like he's like fine deuces, and it's like, well, I created these worst case scenarios, in case you guys ever went rogue, and it was to stop you, not necessarily to kill you.
exactly.
Yeah, and then but then like as he was heading out the door, Superman like kind of like try to talk to him. It's like, what, how could you be so arrogant to come up with all these contingency plans but not one for yourself? But then I think the
He
stinger
actually
that he
had one.
gives, yeah, the stinger that he gives Superman is, it's like, of course I came up with a contingency plan for myself. It's like, it was called the Justice League.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, oh damn, that's a great line.
Yeah, it's like, which I think really points to his what is it, his own self awareness. Like he's not so deluded to think like, oh, I can never cross that line. But but of course he's capable of crossing the line. Just as any of the leaguers could cross the line, he himself can cross the line, and it's like he understands. So like his backup plan is the entire league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's like,
and it all goes back to that time where Darkseid turned Superman against against the whole world, and he's like, yeah, we need to. He knew that he needed to have contingency plans for these like superhumans,
yep.
where they call metahumans or whatever in the DC universe.
Well,
It's like,
everybody, a lot of people's, and a lot of kids, a lot of, adults, their favorite superheroes are the ones that have power, the ones that have the strength, the flight,
yeah,
I'm fucking 40 years old, and I'll be honest with you. And Marvel, mine's Wolverine and Magneto. And the DC universe, it's the only one that I even, I've got my hero and I've got my villain favorite, which is Batman and Joker. I I've never swayed to Superman. I've never swayed to Green Lantern. You know, Martian Manhunter. I've never even, Wonder Woman. No, you know, Batman's always been the one because, well, guess what? He has no superpowers.
yeah. Well, I mean, the joke that they made in Justice League is like, "What's your superpower? I'm rich." It's like,
Right. But yeah, I totally understand what David is saying, is because there's no way we can be Superman because we'll never be Kryptonians, or we'll never be the Flash because we'll never have that accident that turns us, being struck by that
Yep.
lightning next to those chemicals turns us into the Flash. But Batman is something attainable because Batman isn't just like his gadgets or his money as Bruce Wayne, but Batman is the focus and the will to become something better than yourself, which is in all human beings. So Batman is the most relatable or you could say he's the most attainable.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like, like I agree with you. Like, obviously Batman is my favorite, hero. I'm more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy. I really love, Batman. Joker's one of my favorite villains. Another villain I really like is actually from the Superman world. I love Brainiac. Brainiac is one of my favorite villains. I think he's awesome.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brainiac is good. I mean, honestly, a lot of the Batman villains are really awesome. I mean, I love the Riddler. Like the Court of Owls. All that stuff. That's all really fun.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got the Snyder cut. It definitely redeemed a lot of stuff. But man, it's just like, man, what could have been?
Yeah, sure. All right. Okay.
Any
Well,
other
I mean,
last questions, guys, about it?
no, I'm. Yeah, I said all I had to say.
I'm good.
My piece.
All right. Well then, let's get into our movie review. Which, to remind you guys again, it is the theme for this month was courtroom procedurals, and we are ending this month with one of my favorite movies, like truly one of my favorite movies, and that's My Cousin Vinny, starring Joe Pesci, Marissa Tomei, Ralph Macchio. And let me hit y'all with the synopsis, and then we'll get into it. Uh,
Man is hot in that movie, bro.
yes, tasty slice confirmed. Tasty slice confirmed.
Oh my god.
All right. Quick synopsis. New York lawyer Vinny has never won a case. When his teenage cousin Bill and his friend Stan are accused of murder in a backwater Alabama town, it's up to it's up to the nervous Vinny to save him from jail, even though he's only ever tried personal injury cases before, and none of them successfully.
Oh man, where to start with this movie? This is actually, it's pretty star-studded. I mean, obviously, like, everyone knows Joe Pesci, who is really underrated as an actor because like the dude can freaking act. Like, he's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
You got Ralph Macchio, who is kind of like on like the back end of his, like, his real, like, his fame. Then you got
Yeah.
like Marissa Tomei. You got Fred Gwynn, who is Herman Munster. The guy that plays Sheriff Farley, Bruce McGill. He was in Animal House. He's the dude that rides the motorcycle through the frat house.
That's right. That's right.
Um, fuck, that movie's awesome too. Animal House.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of the. I think there's like really all like the real big name like actors that were in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those great, like, it's a great comedy. Like, it's a comedy, but like it's also kind of a serious movie at the same time. It's not
Mm-hmm.
slapstick or anything like that. It's just good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of my, because what is it? Because Joe Pesci's character of Vincent LaGuardia, uh,
Yeah.
he's
Vincent
so
LaGuardia
he's
Gambini. Yeah.
what was that?
His full name was like Vincent LaGuardia Gambini.
Yeah, Vincent LaGuardia Gambini.
That's the most New York name you can get.
Yeah, like the most like New York Italian name possible. But yeah, he's such a relatable character, in that he's just a guy. He didn't go to any fancy law school. He went to what was it, the Brooklyn College of Law or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, it took him 6 times for him to pass the bar. Uh,
He kind of reminds
And
me of like a less successful Dex Shiflet from the Rainmaker.
yeah, or more successful because he at least passed the bar.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Andy,
Yeah,
besides,
depending on how you look at it.
well, here's the kicker. The one thing that I'm curious about is, go ahead and jump, to almost to the end of the movie. But, if you really listen to what the judge says at the end, he's still trying to figure out who he is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And they never really say if, Joe Pesci said, Joe Pesci character says that, he did pass the bar on a sixth time, but yet there's no, there's no evidence. And that was one of the things that, the judge was actually looking for.
If he was even like worthy to actually be an attorney.
Well,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
not worthy, but like if he even had any like standing in a court. But like
Credentials.
the way I understood it was that he might have worked on a lot of like personal injury cases, but he never like it never got to the point where he was able to like
He
get to
went to
court, and like actually have his name on the docket and have his name on the filing for the cases. So that
yeah.
that I think that explains why like there's no like record of him being an attorney in the state of New York. Is because like all of his
Yeah.
cases like they either settled out or some other thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably one of the and so like it's really just like he could have just been upfront with the judge and said like, oh, actually I haven't actually done any murder cases or whatever. But yeah, like it could have been like the judge's own prejudice against like like Yankees.
Somebody
Um,
out of state.
Yeah.
so
It's just like that. His whole character, like it was all about like because Ralph Macchio's character, Bill Gambini, what he was always talking about, like how it's like you don't know, like the Gambini family, like, we're made to argue, like you don't know, and it's like despite all like the evidence against him, it's like he trusted his what their cousins, I think,
yeah,
and
the cousins.
he trusted his cousins. Duh.
And hence the title of the movie.
Have you been drinking tonight, son?
It's been a long week. I'm sorry. Yeah, but his cousin, he trusted his cousin. Vinny. It's like I know if he like gets everything rolling, like he's gonna do fine. Because it's like I said, despite like his lack of understanding of court procedure, he knows how to argue, and he knows like, listen, we have the truth on our side, like so like we'll go from there. Like I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. And I mean, obviously, like through that, he got himself thrown in jail for contempt, like what 3 times?
Yeah.
In the movie,
Mhm.
and I love the interaction between him and another great Italian named Mona Lisa Vito.
Right, his girlfriend, yeah, Marissa Tomei's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Mona Lisa Vito.
And the thing is, like, she's actually incredibly intelligent, but like when you have that Staten Island, Brooklyn accent, that super heavy, accent, it's like you don't think of anything smart coming out of someone's mouth that talks like that, but she's actually like really smart.
When they were cross-examining her and she turned around and said she was an out of work hairdresser, I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's like one of the beauties of this movie is all of like kind of like the expectation subversions.
Yep.
I mean, nowadays, people think like, if fundamentally change a character, it's like, oh, expectation subversion. That's kind of like the big thing. But like, this movie did it right in that, kind of set up everything for that too. It was like, initially, in the very beginning of the movie, she was set up to be like, someone who knew a lot about cars, because even Joe Pesci in the beginning was like saying, when he felt like there was like some unevenness to the wheels, And that local said like, "Oh, you got mud in your, you got mud in your wheel," and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
like
you got mud
she's
in your
never heard
eye.
of it, and she knows everything about cars." And like, even like that local guy kind of like scoffs, looking at Marissa Tomei dressed, as like a typical New Yorker in like the early '90s, with the big hair and stuff. It's like he kind of like scoffs and just walks off. But
Yep.
the payoff at the end when she like told when she demonstrates her knowledge about cars and such is it's so great.
And him and it's funny because like I mean the DA and the expert, like I mean they're flabbergasted, like fuck, we are fucked.
Yeah,
Like
just like yeah, that great, yeah, that it's like, does the defense's case hold water? It's like, no, the defense is wrong.
yeah. And like you said, it's so funny because when you listen to that accent, it's like nothing smart can come out of that mouth, and then it does. It's like what?
just a just a just a lollipop and a damn fresh chewed damn thing of double bubble.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just to make it better.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
And then
okay, but wait, really quickly. I'm sure I'm not the only one who noticed this, but why does the DA say like "wah dear" in like the most sleaziest way possible, or like the most like suggestive, like the most suggestive way possible?
Yeah.
oh,
Yes.
okay, you're not the only one that noticed. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, I know. Like, why does he say it like so like sleazily
well,
and
I
like
mean, he's
like
hot, so I mean, it makes sense. Like, he's like, oh, wow.
yeah, it's like, oh, it's like oh yeah, let me wah die the it's like improper foundation.
He's trying to be a proper Southern gentleman. It's
Yeah, it's like, yeah, let me wah die the witness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just so funny because he said it like such a like suggestive way.
That dude was being a creeper. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
well, and the guy that plays, was it who's the Jim Trotter, the guy that plays him, Lane Smith.
Lane
He's been
Smith.
in a bunch of stuff too. He's a big character actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. But
yeah.
he always kind of plays that kind of like sleazeball character like that.
Oh yeah, he played the morally bankrupt coach in Mighty Duck.
That's right. Ah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's basically like the John. He's like the John Kreese of Mighty Ducks.
He also played in oh god, he was in Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore.
Oh yeah,
fuck.
that's right. Yeah.
Speaking of schlock.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, hey,
But-
I watched it. I didn't say it was something I didn't enjoy. It's not good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed that movie. When I watched it as a kid.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But it is schlock.
Yeah. The
Well, here, because you guys are from the West Coast and I'm from the East Coast and I'm from the South. Just in case there's a couple of viewers out there that are, curious that aren't from the South, I will be the first one to say, years ago I met, I consider both these fellas family to me. I say that they're my cousins. Their mom is one of them is my aunt, one of them is my mom. I love both. Well, not mom, but I call her moms. Love them all to death. I would literally, I would do anything for them. They're from New York, and when I first met them, they always say don't judge a book by its cover. And my only experience with ever meeting somebody from New York was my high school sweetheart. But these dudes were nothing like I'd ever met before. The character Joe Pesci, Gambini, it was literally right up their eye.
yeah.
And it was just like, the New York accents or the Yankee accents and stuff. And here I am, a Southerner, and I'm sitting there going, I swear to Christ, I'm gonna kill them. They're assholes, and then honestly, it made me look at my own self and be like, why not? Because everybody sits there and talks about Southern hospitality and everything like that, but you know, a lot of people that I knew, these two families had more Southern hospitality than a lot of people that I knew back in the day. And they still have it, and they're not living here these days. They're actually living back up in New York.
Yeah.
And, this movie goes to show to me that, yeah, Southern, you're raised around here to leave your front door open, invite somebody in, invite them to dinner, give them something to drink. If you're getting something to drink, you ask, hey, do you want something to drink? Their home is your home.
Right.
And, to me, to watch this movie, and yes, it's a different state. I'm from South Carolina. They did this in Alabama. But it's still all Southern hospitalities because I have friends that live in Alabama, and they do the same thing. You're over for dinner. You're eating at the dinner table. You're eating with the family. The front door stays unlocked at night. Not nowadays, but back then, yeah. But that's not how it was over there in this movie. That's not how it was, and it just it really made me think about how things were done back in the day.
Yeah, interestingly enough, what is it? What is it? Marissa Tomei's character, she actually gets hustled, or she actually gets stiffed on some money because she what is it? They're using traveler's checks or whatever, and Joe Pesci's character got thrown in jail, and she, to bail him out, like she had to use like their money, and so she was trying to raise up more money, and so she tried to hustle this local in a game of pool, and he ends up stiffing her. Um, if you think about it, it's not very it's not very Southern gentleman like.
No. What's on your bet is like, that's, dude, you can't, that's fucking, that's a dick move.
Yeah. Although I do love the exchange that character and Joe Pesci's character has. When he's like, like the whole negotiation thing.
It almost reminded me of like a Goodfellas moment, almost like a little bit. Like they
a little bit, yeah.
They were definitely trying. I think he was definitely trying to go for that a little bit, but like less shooty and crazy. But it had those elements, and I was like, I love the exchange between those two.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I think you owe my girlfriend some money. It's like, well, how about I just kick your ass? Like, oh, counter offer.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite moments in the movie was after their first like horrid night of like after getting woken up in the middle of the night from that fucking whistle from like the lumber company or whatever, and they go to get into that diner, and they're like, "Oh, what do you want?" It's like, and they look at the menu. It's like,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, it's just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you see that like giant like glob of lard. I mean, it's just like, and like they finally get their breakfast. It actually looks pretty good, outside of the fact that they serve grits. Now I know that's a South thing.
Hey, hold up a minute now, white boy.
I know that's a Southern thing, but fuck grits. I'm sorry.
Boo, bad form.
Whoa,
I'm sorry. I do not like grits. They're terrible.
Bad form. All right, I'm gonna make you some grits.
First of all, here's the thing. Everyone says, "Oh, grits are great," especially when you add this. It's like, I'm gonna stop you right there. When you have to add a bunch of stuff to make it good, that's not good. You add stuff to accentuate its already good taste.
No.
Sorry, grits suck.
Just add butter. That's all you do. You boil it for fucking 20 minutes, and you put some butter, you put some salt, you're all good. You
Yeah,
ain't gotta
grits
have
are
nothing
amazing. All right, I love grits. I remember, back in the
else.
day when me and my friends would hang out late at night and we end up at Denny's. I'd always get breakfast food and always ordered a side of grits.
That's
Grits
right.
are amazing, and I actually make grits, because at my church I volunteer and we have a mobile shower ministry where we offer a place for homeless people to come and shower, and we serve them breakfast. And you know um, I transitioned to like helping out in the kitchen, and I've actually made like at least 3 times grits. I made cheese grits for breakfast, and I've always gotten compliments on my cheese grits.
Well, okay, Andy, I'll give in. I'll try your grits.
But
And,
yeah, just to prove a point, I'll make them in the southern style where it's just grits and butter.
okay, but but anyways, my point is, that moment leads into the moment like where he's questioning that one witness who
Hmm.
said like it could have been more than 5 minutes. And he was talking about like, so you were making breakfast, right? Does that include grits? It's like, yeah. So you're telling me that like like, do you use instant grits? No, self-respecting Southern
No,
use
no
instant grits.
self-respecting Southerner makes instant grits.
It's like, oh, okay. So the elements of physics, just cease to exist on on your stove, then, right? Like that whole exchange was really hilarious. I thought that that was, I thought like that scene in the diner, and then that leading up to the questioning of that witness was a good payoff, to be honest. I really like
Right.
that a
No.
lot.
Yeah. I mean, if dude, like this movie is like a masterclass in setups and payoffs,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
like all the questions that he puts forward to uh, the witnesses are questions that he initially asked but doesn't get an answer to, or at least
Right,
we as the audience don't get until the courtroom scenes.
right.
And I think I think it's just a great I think this movie is a great masterclass in how to like do setups and payoffs.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is like in here, because in reality, like Vinny kind of like he seems like this like kind of a dumbass like that doesn't know what he's doing, but he's actually like really smart. And like
Right.
same thing with Mona Lisa. Lisa, like, she's really smart too, and
Mhm.
they're able like it seems like they're just kind of stumbling around, and like they don't really fit in, which they don't, but they also like they're seeing a lot more that like that's what a lot of people wouldn't have seen, and they're using that to win the case. And I was just like I said, what's that?
I will say that one of my favorite parts in this movie is when he goes to jail, when Vinny goes to jail for the third time.
Yeah.
You know, Vito comes out and she's like, I'll bail you out, and he's like, no, don't. I'm gonna stay tonight with them, and I'm gonna get a good night's sleep.
Yeah. Well,
And which he
and
does.
it's all fucking crazy in there. And I think like it reminded him of back home in like New York City, because I mean that city loud and
Right.
crazy
Yeah.
all.
Oh yeah,
Right. That's yeah, and that's one of the things that people seem like might forget is like that they being outsiders, they're not used to the noises out in the country, and so like they're
exactly.
not used to the steam whistle, they're not used to the hogs, or like or like the 5:30 a.m. Freight train that whizzes by. But
Right.
you put him in prison, and there's a riot going on, and
There's people
he's right
shouting,
at home.
drinking,
He's right at
there's
home.
these sirens. Like that's home.
Yeah.
But it's like, with that movie, sitting there watching it, to me, like it was the first. That was like one of the most inspirational movies.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and, and it's like, not only for men, or for guys and stuff to know, okay, well, I can be a lawyer too or whatever. But and I know y'all are going to think I'm crazy for this, but don't care. You got Tomaine's character, you got Vito, you got Mona Lisa and stuff. Tomaine's character, who out of nowhere shows these women, good old Southern women, who are not used to, sorry, not sorry, but the education for women back in those days was, you stay home, you take care of the children, you do what you're supposed to do at the home. You don't go nowhere. The husband takes, tends to everything. The woman takes care of the house, the cooking, the cleaning, everything. And then you got this Vito who comes in the courtroom, looks like if she had blonde
Like a
hair, she'd
streetwalker.
be considered a streetwalker or dumb blonde. And she goes in there and she just like the judge was very flabbergasted about the you know critical answers that she was given to the prosecutor, um, to be able to throw her off because of how he was trying to trick her with that question and stuff about
Yeah.
the engine and the timing of the ignition.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned around and was like, he himself was dumbfounded that she even knew this knowledge.
Right.
And whenever she started going off about the two different cars, um, and he just turned around and hell, he was almost the attorney that was trying, the state's attorney, was actually if that judge would have kept banging his gavel, he probably would have been in contempt of court too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Because of
think
how it was.
yeah, that's one of the beauties of this movie, where it's like they do expectation subversion smartly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa, half the time looks like a streetwalker, and then she has all this knowledge, general automotive knowledge, that turns out to be uh, that turns out to be the winning strategy. Or Vinny, who looks like just a regular New York City Italian Goomba, but turns out that he's able to craft together arguments very well.
Yeah, and the thing is, like with Mona Lisa, she's not like some raging feminist, but at the same time, like she's very independent. At the same time, like
right,
she.
but then also but also very supportive of her man. She's like towards the end, when it looks like when they bring in like the FBI expert, she's like constant, she's asking Vinny, like, oh, how can I help you? How can I help you? And she's like constantly trying to
Like the entire movie,
throughout this entire movie, she's like totally being supportive of her man. Like even to like even that scene, like when they slept in their car, and like after heavy rain, and like Vinny accidentally throws his suit onto the ground, and it's like, oh, that was your suit. I got it clean. I thought it'd be nice. Again, being supportive, or her allowing him to go shower and get ready for court, and her running out to get him another suit. It's like, again, being totally supportive.
right?
Or at the very end, calling up that old judge friend of his, to make a phone call to the judge in Alabama, to say like, oh, he's the greatest lawyer that's ever lived, basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, which kind of saved the day.
Yeah, which kind of saved the day. So yeah, but
I
this
will
movie,
say
it's
that,
great, because this movie is like, everyone thought that it was going to be done for, even though we knew the truth about, how, the innocence of the two guys. When the supposed expert came in and like laid all like this fancy book learning and science stuff it came down to basic knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, look at the elderly black lady who, swore up and down that, she's seen them leave the convenience store, and he turned around and he said, okay, he goes, you said you was about how far away from them you were? And she said about 100 feet. So he took the tape measure, told her to put on his glasses, handed her the end of the tape measure, and walked about 50 feet, held two fingers up. And, I'm thinking, that she was the one that was going to answer the question.
Yeah.
And then when the judge turned around and was like, "Oh, let the court recognize that Mr. Gambini's holding up two fingers," it was like, well, ain't that supposed, wasn't the
Your Honor.
wasn't the person supposed to answer the question and not the judge?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was like, it also killed me too when he turned around and looked at the lady again and was like, "Okay, how many fingers am I holding up?" And he's still holding two fingers up. If she'd have sat there and said two fingers, he'd have been screwed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, we kind of, I don't know if we talked about this on stream, but no, yeah, we did. Kind of like how all of the movies that we thus watched and reviewed are kind of also in this movie. Particularly like the whole jury thing and witnesses, like in what is it, in the first movie, 12 Angry Men. How that one older juror noticed that
The lady was
what is
wearing
it?
glasses.
Yeah, the lady was wearing glasses because the
Or she
dent
not
in
that
her
she was wearing glasses, but that she had the indentations showing that she does wear glasses.
Yeah, that she wears like glasses for more than just reading. And so
Right.
kind of similarly, the old black woman, who went and sat in on the witness stand, she wasn't wearing her glasses, and it wasn't until Vinny asked if she that if she wore glasses, like, oh yeah, yeah, and then asked her to put them on. Did she
Yep.
put on the glasses? And so again, kind of like this concept that me and Rob came up with called cinematic archaeology, where like things that we've seen in other movies, appear in other movies.
And pop culture, yeah.
Yeah, things that like influence pop culture. I think a lot of like these court procedural movies, a lot of the elements, in other movies have found its way into this movie.
Yeah, well, and then you have like Anatomy of Murder, where honestly, it's a lot of like the research. That's that pretty much like Vinny's been doing that the whole movie. Like he's reading through that like Alabama state like court procedural book, but he's also going around and like it's Mona Lisa who's taking pictures and like kind of but it's through those pictures and like them going around talking to people, all that sort of stuff, where like it really helped their case. They built up, whether they realized it or not, which maybe they didn't, but maybe they did at the same time, where like they were researching things that were going to help for that case. Then you have what was the other movie? Kind of like the what we were talking about, like how you have there's a lot of not necessarily racism, but there's a lot of prejudice, like when it comes to like these outsiders from New York in the state of Alabama, and it's like no one likes them, to be honest. Judge cannot stand Vinny, and obviously like the sheriff and everyone like that was like involved with like that gas station robbery, like they were out for blood when it came to Bill and his friend. And
so because the problem was is if you pay attention to when they're questioning him and the friend, is the fact that not once did neither one of them turn around and say, what are you guys talking about? They just, oh, you pulled us over, yeah, we did it, or he did it, yeah, he did it, and then finally he turned, it was it like the sheriff was reading was reading back what Bill had said. He said, he confessed to the murder. He said, yeah, I shot him. I shot him. And it
He
was
didn't say
like,
it that way. No.
but it
Yeah,
was
right.
like,
Like the inflection though, like that's what was missing from the transcript, where it's
yeah,
like, when he's saying like, I shot the clerk, I shot the clerk, but he wasn't, he didn't
yep,
say it like that. He was saying like, I shot the clerk. Like he was,
yeah, he was asking.
he was confused. He was like,
Yeah,
with the, he was asking a question. It's like, like
because
with the upwards
not
inflection,
one
how we
time.
like to make fun of, certain women who talk that way. It's like, he was legitimately, he's like, I shot the clerk, which is a lot
But it
Yeah.
was,
different from I shot the clerk.
yeah, because like to me, it was like the first thing that popped out of my head, popped into my head is, you know, if they shot the clerk, where's the murder weapon?
Right,
You
right.
know, not
Right, because
not
even yeah,
one time
even the discussion between Vinny and the prosecutor
the sheriff.
Trotter, he was asking, oh, how do you feel about how you feeling about the case? He's like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I would like the murder weapon, but I think my chances are good of winning this. Like they
Yeah,
like what's the use of a confession if you don't have a murder weapon?
exactly. But it was like not until the end of the movie, Vinny turned around and asked the sheriff to go check something out for him. Um, and he turned around and came back and he was like, yeah, there was a metallic green white top convertible with those same what was it, the 14-inch tires or 17-inch tires
Yeah.
that was the same as the defendants. And he turned around and was like, oh yeah, two fellows that were fitting the description of the two defendants. They were arrested for theft, who because the car came back stolen. And then he was like, oh, did they find, was there anything else? What else is? And they were like, oh yeah, well they found what was it?
357
Three,
Magnum.
yeah, the 357 Magnum was in their possession. And he was like, oh, so what was the sack and sock or sack and sock corner clerk shot with? And he said, oh, it was 357 Magnum. Oh, there you go. They got the weapon. They're the ones who were guilty. And it
Thank
was like not one time during this whole thing, besides when the attorney for the state turned around and said, yeah, I like to have the murder weapon. That was the only time it was ever brought up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that kind of goes back to like kind of the idea of the Rainmaker is like everyone was just trying to make the case like open and shut, like kind of make it go away, and not really like digging deeper. Because it's an easy arrest, or it's like it's an easy it's an easy win. You just like if you start to like, oh I can like this. Okay, we got a case, open and shut. And when you actually dig deeper, it's like, oh wait, this is all fucked up.
Yeah.
Because actually, to be honest, like the guy that played Trotter, he kind of reminds me a lot of Leo Drummond from The Rainmaker.
Oh, right. A little bit, yeah. I can see it.
Yeah,
Just
I think you're right, Andy. Like this movie kind of encapsulates a lot of like the movies that we've watched previously this month.
Mm-hmm.
And David, if you haven't seen like some of the other movies we talked about, like we watched 12 Angry Men, Anatomy of a Murder, To Kill a Mockingbird, and The Rainmaker. And I highly recommend, if you haven't seen them, watch them. They're really good.
Yeah, I watch A Few Good Men.
Oh, well,
we're getting to that. We're getting to that.
Yeah, don't worry. We have a whole military court thing that we're going to be doing later in the year. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
If you want, you can come on and talk about it with us if you want.
Yeah. When we do A Few Good Men.
Fucking love that movie.
Yeah. Did you want the cornbread?
Yeah.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
So
Love
good.
that.
That movie is so great. One last thing I'd like to highlight about this movie, kind of like the epiphany moment, just before the epiphany moment for Vinny, it was great because it's kind of like it was a recess and Vinny was trying to like wade through all of the like um, technical evidence that the expert provided, and he kind of has like this moment where he snaps at Lisa, and denigrates her for trying to help her, and he says something which caught my attention, where he says like, "Oh, you giving me shit isn't gonna give me some revelation on how to win this case." But it actually does become the thing. That actually does become the thing that helps him win the case. Because he's sitting in court and he's looking at that picture that she took of the tire marks, and it's like, and he's just like staring at it, and then boom, epiphany, and he has the winning strategy to win the case.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, she was helping him like all along. I don't know that was necessarily her like intention with taking that picture, but it was through like her just like being there by his side, kind of cataloging everything that helped him win the case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because she was he was using like when he was talking to that one other witness, he documented his house, and it was this the it was because of, and he documented that witness's house with her camera. So so she was like helping him like the entire time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because like honestly, like she won the Marissa Tomei won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress that year, '92.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, now I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that there was a lot of like, are you fucking kidding me? How did she win like a supporting actress? How did she win an Academy Award? And I looked at like the other people that were up for it for that award. It's like, yeah, no shit, she won it. Like I don't know any of those movies or those actresses. It's like, of course she won it. Like she was really great.
Absolutely. You can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, she didn't just like stumble into like that award, and it wasn't just like, oh well, we'll just give it to her, whatever. She probably she sucked my dick, she got the award. It's like, no, she won that award. It was her performance as Mona Lisa Vita was amazing. She's probably one of my favorite. Like, I think that's one of my favorite female performances, like at least modern day like performances. Like, I mean, it's just so good.
She had a better performance in that movie than fucking Joe Biden trying to get up the damn stairs to the airplane.
Oh my god!
I was wondering how you're gonna fit that in, but
I was gonna get it in. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, because you made a reference to that before we began the stream, but it's like, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking he's gonna try to work that into the stream, and I was just trying to figure out how he would have done it, but
man, that's good. That's good stuff.
But it's like, I would honestly, I would have loved to see a movie where it was, her as the lead female actress in a movie, because to be honest with you, I think she would have done really good. For example, she did, hell, she should have got a damn, an award for helping damn Adam Sandler out in fucking anger management.
Right?
Oh yeah, she was in that movie.
That is her. Oh my gosh, yeah.
What was it?
That's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I like it. Shit, it's got, damn, she, Jack Nicholson, he was a good actor in it as well, but, I think she should have had a little bit more of a role in that movie than Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I mean, well, Tomei is like, she doesn't get credit. She's actually a really good actress. Like,
She was very good.
I like her a lot. She only gets like certain a couple of roles here and there, but like man, when she gets a role, like she does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that was her like in that movie, but like yeah, I mean, she's Aunt May now in the Spider-Man movies. She was in this. She's been in like a bunch of like little things here and there, but she's always done a really good job.
Yeah, I think her big resurgence was her part in that movie with Mickey Rourke, the wrestler.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's when she started coming back onto the radar, and
Yeah, I need to watch that movie again. I haven't seen that in a while.
likewise. I have nothing. I have nothing further to add
No, I
to
got nothing else.
this review.
What about you, Dave? Do you have anything else before we give our rating?
No, actually, I was gonna say I gotta get off here in a couple minutes because it's almost midnight over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are where we are.
Why don't
All right,
you,
let's wrap this up. Yeah, let's wrap this up for tonight. Let's give our ratings. It's we give it a 1 out of 5. So Dave, if you want to start us off.
Robert, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Let me think.
Honestly, I can't think of like anything wrong with this movie. I had to give it a 5 stars. I mean, it's not only is it a great comedy, you got a great I mean the chemistry between Tomei and Pesci is fantastic. The it's funny. It's a great court movie. Like it's actually very accurate. A lot of people are saying like the critics were saying it's very accurate to law procedure. So it's a great court movie, and I can I'm gonna be watching this movie again. Honestly, I would almost like want there to be a sequel, but I'm kind of glad that there isn't. But I love this movie. It's too good.
Word. Yeah. Robert's reading my mind again. I'm giving this a 5 as well. This is like the perfect movie, and I dare anyone to tell me otherwise, because I will fight you. So.
Well, I yes. Um, I didn't want to be the jerk to say, 5, and everybody else give it like a 3 or 4. But honestly, Robert, he hit it on the head. Tamaine and Pesci's, chemistry on the screen was, awesome. It was great.
I mean, I believe that they were a real couple. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, like the bickering, and then how when they made up and whatever.
Oh, it was on point.
Mm-hmm.
It was honestly on point. The comedy was great. The real life interaction between the cousins, and when the dude stood up because his fucking attorney was stuttering so bad, and he was like,
stuttering worse than a Model T, right?
Fired. I want him. And it was, to me, that's honestly what really, really made the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would honestly agree and say a 5 as well.
All right.
5's all around. I like it.
Yeah, 5's all around. There you have it.
Of course, you got Tamaine on it.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. The first ever 3 5s on this stream. Both, I shouldn't say both, but all 3 of us, David, Robert, and myself, we give this a 5. And it is definitely earned and merited, because this movie is perfect. And again, I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. So do yourself a favor and watch this movie. You will not regret it. You will definitely enjoy this movie. And that'll do it for us tonight. I hope you guys were entertained. I know I was. We just want to thank David for coming on the stream tonight. Thank you for livening it up a bit. And for those of you who can't get enough of David, you guys are in for a treat, because next month our theme is guest month, and David will again be appearing on on the stream this well via pre-tape, but yes, we'll be reviewing a movie that David has picked. I believe it was Law Abiding Citizen.
Yes, sir.
So look forward to that. Don't forget to check out the library of content that we have. Circular Joy's main podcast, which again David has appeared multiple times, and as well as Nocturnal Transmissions, of course, and Rob's gaming show Up by Up Down. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media accounts, Twitter and Letterboxd at PodcastCOJ, and Instagram at Circular Joy's Podcast. And with all that said, we thank you again for joining us, and let's do it again next week.